Alright, boys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the best traffic sources for OFM in 2026. So I mentioned three traffic sources here from third place to first place. Now I do want to say there's obviously a bunch of different traffic sources. This does not mean that these are the only ones that work or anything like that. There's obviously a bunch of other stuff you can do, Snapchat. Obviously some people do ads still on like Facebook and IG, stuff like that. TikTok, all of that. But these are the three that I think if you master one of them, it's enough to make a good amount of money. So, first of all, X/Twitter. The way I run it is with a tool called XBot, which automates retweet for retweet. If you don't know what retweet for retweet is basically it's a similar concept that most of you probably know. Something like for like, share for share, stuff like that. When you like someone's post, and they have to like your post back, or like someone else has to like your post back before they can share their post. It's the same with retweets. There's group chats on Twitter where creators will share their post. You have to retweet a certain amount, and you can share your post, and then other people have to retweet yours before they're allowed to, share their post as well. So that's what that's the method we do for Twitter. Now with XBot, it's literally a very simple process. A lot of people get surprised when I say how simple it is. Obviously, this makes it sound a lot more simple than it is, because obviously there's other things to keep in mind, like bans that can happen, issues, just other issues that can happen. But the actual process is very simple. It's literally just setting up the account, getting access to XBot, getting retweet groups. You can buy them. They're pretty cheap as well. Post on X, making that a pin post. You can just do this like once a day or every 2 days, and clicking a button, and the bot does the work for you. So once you set up the account, get access to everything that you need, the retweet groups, all of that stuff, and you make a post on your Twitter account, get a premium Twitter as well, then you're ready, and then you can just start the bot, and the bot will start retweeting, and then you'll start getting retweets. It's as simple as that. And yeah, I do want to say, if you guys want more like an in-depth explanation for any of these traffic sources, I do have videos specifically for them, more in depth, or obviously my private group as well, which I'll leave a link to my Telegram, and you can DM me if you're interested in that. But yeah. Secondly is Reddit. So for Reddit, what we do is we do organic. We run it mainly on mobile, but if you're running a big scale and you're not able to handle it all on mobile, you can do browser as well, but just keep in mind that browser will have a higher ban rate, so that's why mobile is better. And yeah, we do multiple accounts, and each account is a different niche. So for example, one account can be feet, another one can be boobs, and so on. It's very important, in my opinion, to make every account a different niche, because that way it's like you can sort of grow a fan base in each niche, right? And you can test which niche brings the most subs, and obviously from there you can scale more within that niche, because that niche works good for your model. And yeah, and one other thing that I didn't mention here for Reddit is the most important thing for Reddit is just testing. And by testing, I mean testing the niches, testing the content, testing the subreddits. If Reddit is not bringing you subs for your model, there's no like question of you're just getting unlucky. You just need to move on and test something new, right? If you think your content's good, maybe the niche you're posting in it just doesn't fit for your model, and you gotta try out new niches. If you think the niche is good, maybe it's the content. If it's not the content, it might be the subreddits, and so on. So you have to just keep testing new stuff until you find what can work for your model and then scale. Alright, lastly is Instagram. So for Instagram, in my opinion, it's the best traffic source. This is where, as much as you can make money from the other ones, in my opinion, Instagram is probably the most scalable, and some could argue is the easiest, but I'm not sure if it is, but it could be. All it really is for IG is just organic, real content. At the end of the day, content, organic content on platforms like TikTok and IG, it is the most powerful way of marketing, right? If you look at big companies, they use TikTok and IG now more than they use ads, because that is just how you market nowadays. Everyone's on Instagram, everyone's on TikTok. More people prefer IG nowadays. a lot of people, like beginners, question why is TikTok not as good as IG. First of all, the conversion is not as good because you have to go from TikTok all the way to IG, then to OF or FanView. But also, IG is becoming more of a platform that people are preferring over TikTok, um, and it's also just more lenient. For this industry that we're in, IG is a lot more lenient than TikTok is. So you can post a lot more of the model than you could on TikTok. But it's the same concept as Reddit when it comes to having multiple accounts, all in different niches. So it's the same thing, right? I mentioned about testing. You want to do the same on IG. You can have one account for feet, one account for ASMR, one account for feet, I said feet, for boobs, whatever. A bunch of different niches. Obviously, I'm naming basic niches. You can think of more better ones, teacher, stuff like that. Skits, all of that stuff, Amigo videos. A bunch of accounts with different niches. Test all of these things out. And once you know what works, you can scale that more. And then the main thing that at the moment makes IG so good, and why I just think IG is so easy to scale, is because you can use AI to create more reels and scale faster with different styles of content and niches. So whether you've got an AI model or a real model, you can use AI on Higgsfield. The way we do is we do it on Higgsfield with Kling's motion control. You find a viral video. Obviously, there's a bunch of videos that are better than this. I'm just saying this as an example. But you can get a video of Sophie Rain dancing, and you can create a reference image of your model just stood in a similar position, similar background, and you can put both of those videos on that image into Kling's motion control on Higgsfield, and then it will create a video of your model dancing instead of Sophie Rain. And then you can post these videos that are just AI. And like I said, you can use this to scale faster, test more niches out. Let's say your model can't handle testing out 10 different niches at once. She can only handle doing feet and boobs, let's say. You can then use AI to create another 5 accounts with 5 different niches, right? So yeah, I talk a lot more about this in depth in my private group, like I said, and I also have YouTube videos separately for these traffic sources if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, I'll leave a link to my Telegram description. Any questions, you can leave me on Telegram as well. I reply the most on Telegram. And yeah, see you guys later.